It's tons of fun, man. I'm loving it. That R9T looks sweet too. Woo! Oh, dude. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Bert's Bike. And today we are taking out the Southern Distances SV650. Man, I gotta say, this is one of the best color combinations I've ever seen on a SV650. That red trestle frame with the white looks awesome. Also this chin spoiler, I guess, whatever it is, looks great on this bike. Man, M4 exhaust. Pretty sure it's been ECU flashed and all that stuff. Love everything on here. These controls look really good. These mirrors look awesome. Just a beautiful looking bike. Let's get a sound check on. Woohoo! Wow. We'll sound check here. Woo! Oh yeah, baby. Alright, we're gonna go out for lunch, but I'm gonna take this for a test drive. I think these are still the stock handlebars. Man, there's something different about this bike than the last SV650 I rode. Ooh, this is way more sporty feeling. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely feel like my legs are a lot higher and everything. Cool. Alright. Killed it there. Wow. This bike does sound awesome. Mark on the R9T, baby. Alright. Man, this is a fun bike. Well, this thing feels really good. Man, the throttle response on this is super linear. You know exactly what it's doing. And already you feel super engaged into this ride. You're just right in it. You kind of got that sport bike stance. Yeah, guys. Sport bike stance, that lean, hugging the tank with your knees. All right, those of you guys who don't know, this is my first time on an SV650. I was on, I guess a 2023 model, and it was set up kind of differently than this. Just felt a little bit more like a true standard. And this feels, I'm not sure if it's, you know, different bars or something, or the bar and mirrors, but this feels like a more like leaned into the ride here. I can really get down into the bike here and really just kind of go for it. Also, the other one I test drove had the Corbin seat, but the Corbin seat made it feel more like a standard to me. And of course, Mark's got some stuff going on with this bike. He's got looks like different, I'm not sure if those are stock pegs or not. It looks like he's got some different stuff going on, but this feels very much like a sporty kind of modern cafe bike. So you're kind of getting like all the benefits of the sport bike with the cafe kind of feel, kind of like a modern roadster cafe, something like that. All right. All right, what can we say about the SV650? I would say this is just a really engaging bike to ride. You're definitely lean forward on this bike, the way that this is set up. You are gripping the tank with your knees. You are into the ride, and with these bar end mirrors, you basically see nothing below you. You're just kind of flying out there. Free, no wind protection, no nothing. But the trade-off is that you have an incredible field of view, and you have clean air hitting you. So it feels very, very good, especially with this exhaust, the way everything feels, the flash on here. Everything feels the way it's supposed to feel. Nothing feels clunky or herky-jerky. It's a very linear response on the throttle. Very, very cool. Trail braking on this thing is just a lot of fun. Man, the throttle response on this is incredible. I mean, from what I remember, the stock one, I'm pretty sure that the last one I rode just had a pipe on there with no tune or no flash on it. I'm pretty sure it was just bone stock. But this just feels so good. Also, I feel like the engine at the same time, and I'm just going off of memory here, just feels a little more relaxed at the same time. I don't know if that's a thing. I could be just making that up. But not much to say about this bike that isn't already out there. It does what it does, and it's just a really solid motorcycle, you know? I am liking these levers. I think these are Puig or Puig levers. A lot of fun. Now I know Mark bought this bike to push the limits of his riding a little bit, to feel more confident and like kind of moving the bike around, leaning it over and stuff like that. And I think this is kind of a great bike, a great platform to do that with. Especially, you know, with this bike you could ride it on the street, you could commute with it, you could take it to a track. Just such a versatile street motorcycle, you know. A lot of fun to ride at slower speeds, but also getting on the throttle is really rewarding. Suzuki really nailed it with this bike. It's just so good. Yep, slow speed stuff, piece of cake. Hey, DR, or whatever that is. I have to say this M4 exhaust is really working for this bike. It's just the right soundtrack for this motorcycle. It is present, but it isn't sort of like hitting my head with just a bunch of bass. I can feel what the bike is doing. I can hear what the bike is doing. It's giving me really good feedback from it. Wish I got that part on film. Brakes work pretty well. I don't think there's ABS on this. I don't know. I turned my camera off there for a second, but that fishing boat pretty much stopped in the middle of the road, and we had to brake pretty hard there. And the brakes do work pretty darn well on this. Oh man, this bike is so easy to ride. After you get used to sort of the sport bike-ish stance, really just easy to throw around, confidence inspiring. Yep. And you don't got to lean this bike very much. You could use a lot of body English just to turn it. You know, a lot of pressure, counter steering. If you haven't checked out Mark's channel, it's the Southern Distance Moto. And I'll leave a link to his channel below. He was so kind to lend us this bike so we can get some food and also do just like a mini ride review on it. And it's just really great, man. One thing he was telling me was with the tune for this, or I guess it's not a tune, it's a flash, it now requires 93 octane, I think, or that's what he was saying anyway, takes a little bit of the frugality out of the bike, but you know, I'm pretty sure it still gets, you know, over 40-ish miles to the gallon. I could ride this bike on back roads all day. It's gonna be a back roads burner, man. Also, one thing that's really cool about this bike is that despite its age, it still looks really good, and it's a mean looking motorcycle, especially in this color scheme with, you know, the aesthetic mods that Mark has done to it. Like, people who don't know anything about bikes don't know that this is a older design anyway. They just think it's a cool looking bike, and I think, you know, part of it is also that trellis frame, that red on white look. It looks like a serious motorcycle. You know, it looks like maybe faster and more CCs than it is. So I think it's got some really great curb presence. And again, I think the best color combination for this bike is that white and red. The red trellis frame with the white tank. You know, it's very Ducati. This bike is compared a lot to the Ducati Monster. You're getting some of that Ducati vibes with, you know, that Japanese craftsmanship and reliability. Obviously, a Ducati Monster is its own thing, but Mark has actually owned a Ducati Monster and says that it gives you hints of the Monster. It's definitely not the same, but it has some similarities there. When I'm saying it's got similarities to the Monster, I'm thinking more aesthetically, and Mark is thinking more sound-wise and feel-wise. So it's not a Ducati Monster, but it's just a nod to it. It's tons of fun, man. I'm loving it. That R9T looks sweet too. Woo! Oh, dude. Oh gosh. I've never been trolled on a bike before. Oh my gosh. Don't do it. One thing I like on this bike is the engine braking is really even, and it doesn't feel too much or too little. It feels like just the right amount. My main bike right now is a Z900 RS, and I would say that the engine braking on that bike is a lot. It's very severe, and if you're not used to it, it can really catch you out. This bike, see if I just let off, just feels really good. This M4 exhaust, man, definitely feels like a muscle bike, but I can really feel that tune on there. It's just super linear. Nothing's catching you out. It's just doing what it's supposed to do. Also, I gotta say the clutch engagement feels really good, really precise. Definitely has that like Honda engagement, kind of that feel. I wouldn't say it's crisp, but it's very tactile and exact. But for, you know, comparing a Japanese bike to like a Harley or Indian, this gear shifting is gonna feel like real snappy and slick compared to any of those bikes. Also, I gotta say there's a lot of room to move back and forth on the seat. Now on this bike, when you scoot back in the seat, you're also elevating your lower half a lot higher to get more in that sport bike type feel. So you can kind of sit, you know, on the cup of this seat and give you that just kind of more of a more standard-ish riding stance. However, you can also cock back and get right into the ride if you needed to. All in all, I gotta say this is a real fun bike, and you know, if somebody were to ask me what's a great second bike to get after you get your learner's bike, you know, this is probably one of the top street bikes I would recommend. It'll really teach you a lot about control, a lot about power, Also, just a really good baseline stock on what a good bike is and should feel like, you know. Slice of pizza pie. Also, one thing I like about this bike is the round headlight. A lot of bikes nowadays are getting the little mantis look, and it's good to just have a plain old round headlight. Like I said, the curb presence on this bike is incredible. Just means business, man. Woo! Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. It's Bert's Bike, and I'll catch you on the next one.